Hi, I'm going to go in this screencast over how to do a grunt plugin. I did my first grunt plugin and it was quite a learning experience, so I'd like to share it with you. And the project I'm going to be doing, and I have done the grunt plugin already, was basically I was inspired to automatically reload a Chrome extension. And in previous screencasts that you can see on my blog or on YouTube, I have done some Chrome extension tutorials and screencasts that one of the real pain points is that every time you had to make a change, you had to reload the extension to see the changes. So I found on GitHub this project called Bootstrap Chrome Extension by Petkov, and it just has a really cool solution in how to do this. And basically what it does is it has a reload.js file, it's coffee script, that will check the timestamp of a reload.html file. And if that and it'll do that every 1 second right here. And if it does see a change in the timestamp, it will issue a reload, a Chrome runtime reload. So I just thought this was so cool. I tried it out and I wanted to use it in my Chrome extension projects that are done with the Yeoman Chrome extension generator. So I wanted to package this up as a grunt plugin. So this is how I went about it. So I'm going to switch over to the command line. And the first thing I did was I did an npm search to see what I'm going to call this extension, and also what other extensions were out there. And a way to do that is this command here, npm search grunt plugin, and let me just do Chrome. That should catch a wide net of extensions. Now I've already run this because it can take quite long to update the index. And I basically just looked what was available, and I came up with the name grunt crx auto reload. But I looked at the existing names and came up with something that I did want to do Chrome extension reload. That was already taken, and that particular extension also uses an outside dependency that runs as like a Chrome driver, and it actually did not work. I did try it and it did not work for me. So this solution was pure JavaScript, so I wanted to go with it, and there was nothing similar to it, so I went ahead and decided on the name grunt crx auto reload. Now I'm going to switch into Tmux because I'm going to be using multiple windows, and I'm going to switch to my GitHub labs directory. Let's make this directory now. Make the directory and switch into it. I'm going to install a Yeoman generator called generator grunt plugin. This is going to give us scaffolding to do the grunt plugin. Okay, it's going to take a little bit of time. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The install went just fine, and the command to run the generator is going to be yo grunt plugin, and we should get a wizard here asking us some questions. Plugin name is the first question. Grunt crx auto reload, and we're going to give it a description. This is pure JS solution to automatically okay, and we'll just keep it at that version default it gives us. Okay, let's give it the, even when I didn't know the the GitHub repository, I still had an idea what it was going to be called, which is the same as the name of the grunt plugin. Okay, homepage, let's just skip that for time being. Yeah, let's do the MIT license, author name, we'll do minimal, and let's skip the email, skip the URL. I'm going to take these defaults too, the node defaults, and we'll take that grunt default there. And then we're going to get the npm install, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm back, and we did get the npm install to go just smooth. And the npm install works on a package.json is created when we make that, or we go through that wizard, and that's what the npm install is running on. So let's take a look at what was created actually. And we get a node modules directory, tasks, and tests. So inside of, let's take a look at this inside of tasks, and we get a Chrome auto load JS file there. Okay, looks like we got a default kind of code in here. And we also have a test directory, so that means we got tests, and I'm going to test drive this development of this plugin. Let's open up the test file too. Okay, and it's got some default tests in here. And to run tests, I'm going to make a separate window here in Tmux, separate window pane. To run tests are as simple as grunt, and we get all green right there. That is, of course, defined in the grunt file. If we look at the main tasks here, I'm just going to page down. Here's the initializer for the grunt file. We got some tasks, some default tasks in here, and one is just going to the default task is to run JS hint and test. So that's why when you run grunt, that's why it's running the test. So it's linting your file, so JS hint does, and it runs the tests. I'm talking about this right here. This is the default task, and here's actually the test task, which cleans out the temp directory. You can see those tasks up above. Runs CRX auto reload, runs node unit, which is up here. Here's the node unit test, so it's defined up here. I'm going to also do a little Vim magic here too. I'm going to change one of my leaders so it's easier to test. And to do that, let me just look at one of these existing ones here. Let me copy this one here. I'm using the Tmux copy there. That is the command you see if you have never seen that before. So I'm going to go into the command window, paste that leader. Oops, looks like we got a little too much here. Let me try that again. Okay, that's the leader I want. Now, what this leader does right now is when you hit leader ZL, my leader is the comma key. Let's take that highlighting off. It calls and does a Rails test using Zeus. What I want to do here is I want to run grunt in my other right pane over here. So to do that, I am going to just take this off. I need to do, instead of call, I need to do execute. I can take this, so these parentheses away. Now this ts command is a bash function that does a tmux send keys to the right pane. So that's why I'm calling that with an exclamation point, and we just want to do grunt here. So every time I hit leader ZL, it's going to save the file and then send over to the right pane the grunt command. So let's map that. I'm going to hit enter here. So let's go back over here and I'm going to hit leader ZL, and you can see over in the right pane here we had action going on. So that's pretty cool. It helps really speed up your testing and development no matter what environment you are. Okay, let's keep up the momentum here. Let's go back to the Bootstrap Chrome extension and take a look at what needs to be done. So there's a reload coffee. I looked at that. There's a reload Jade. The Jade file here is just doing this timestamp. So, and both of these files go into your main directory you're developing, and you're also going to have your manifest JSON here. So at minimum, let's start just writing this HTML file that's going to have the timestamp. And to do that, let's go back here. Let's go to let's write a failing test first. So we're going to, I'm going to wipe out these guys here. Let me just take this out. I'll take this out. Okay, the style here is what's called node unit. It's very similar to any X unit in any language. And there's no setup. We do have to call these dones and test expects on how many expectations you're going to have in each test run. So the bare minimum to do is to create this reload.html file with the timestamp. And let's write test, okay, grunt file exists. The scratch directory for this Yeoman grunt plugin generator is the temp directory, and we'll take a look at the grunt file in just a second, but let's just do this. We're going to expect that a reload.html file is made under temp, and it's going to have the timestamp. Now, how did I know about this grunt file exists? You're going to want to go to grunt.js.com API, I believe it's API.grunt, yeah. And here you have some built-in stuff that Grunt gives you. One is I'm using right there as the grunt file exists. There's other ones here. Definitely check that out. I was looking at this heavily and made pretty good use of it. I think I just used grunt file in the end, and also grunt template I used too. So check out the Grunt API page to get more information. And let's get back to the code here. And let me just comment this out. And I'm going to run my leader ZL command and run this, and we're going to get a failure, which is what we expected. So now I'm going to move to the tasks crx auto load.js, and I'm going to take out all of this boilerplate here. Looks like, do we have an extra? Yeah. Let's even take that out also. And let's just start coding up a basic example. And let's take a peek at the grunt file to see what's being run here and under default options. And we have the options object here, then the files object. Now what this is doing is running some fixtures, and we're keeping this simple. We're not going to do fixtures. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this, and okay, we're gonna need to get rid of that too. And let's do the same thing here. Let's just get rid of these things. Okay, I think we're okay there. Actually, I'm just going to run the test real quick because it's also going to lint the code just to make sure I have all the parentheses right. And I do. Okay, let's head back here and get the code ready for that test. We want to match that test here. We're just want to create a file here. We're not actually testing that the timestamp has been made. We're just testing for the file existence. So let's do that. Let's start right here by making that default option. I'm going to call it extension dir. This is where the main part of the extension is going to be. Let's call it temp. Okay, and how about we do have our HTML equals options extension dir, and we'll do, I cannot type the O before the A. Okay, there we go. And also there's in that grunt file API document we looked at a grunt file write. So let's write reload HTML. Let's put that new date stamp in there. Is that to string? Okay. Alright, save it. Let me also get rid of this here. And okay, let's run this spec, and there we got green over here. Isn't that cool? We got some green action. So it was very basic, and this is going to be a good place for me to stop as we're running into about 17 minutes here. But yeah, basic stuff, but we're getting started, and in part 2 I'm going to continue on with making this Chrome extension auto reload grunt plugin. Thanks for watching this part.